to say. But, yes, this is the week. Like, to your point, Noodles, this is the week. And the Olympics are great. We've had them on, and we've been watching. And, there's the time zone throws you off a little bit. What's live, what isn't. There's so many different events happening. But this is the week. We've got on the women's side Canada versus the U.S., which we knew. We could have just fast-forwarded right to it, but we knew it was coming. And it's here, and that'll take place on Thursday.
Yep.
And we've got the quarters that we know are established now. Canada's going to play Czechia again. And if they get through them, they likely play Slovakia. And the Americans are going to play Sweden more than likely. So now we get going here.
Yeah,
on the men's side, it's been like a 12-year wait to get to 3 games.
Yep.
Really, this is what it is. Like, this is what really matters. Because the group stage, everyone made it through, and you could keep playing. Like, the group stage was just get your feet wet in Milan, try to figure things out. Everyone stay healthy if you can. And it sounds like everyone's going to be healthy. McKinnon was obviously banged up.
Nicked. Yeah, he didn't look comfortable, did he?
He did not at the end of the game.
No.
Cooper said today he's 100% confident everyone's going to be fine, which I believe means Morrissey will return as well.
Yeah,
which is pretty significant. So if you have Morrissey back, McKinnon's going to play.
Marchand
is going to go in. Tom Wilson did not get suspended by his own federation, which is a good sign.
Dude, what about the other federation? Are you
They suspended him for 5 games. His own federation. It's like nothing to see here, but we're going to give you 5 games.
So what did Tom Wilson get? He just got a game.
Nothing. Yeah, he got kicked out of that game, and he's fine.
Yeah. So
nothing.
The French Federation said, we didn't like your antics. You're done for 5 games and the Olympics.
Yes.
It's the most idiotic thing the federation's like, no, we're good, but the own country goes, no, we didn't like that, so you're getting 5 games from us. That's the most idiotic thing I've seen so far in the
Olympics. It's crazy. Well, it's crazy. And I got to give credit to Craig because I saw Craig Button. He was on a podcast, I believe. I don't recall. He does so many of them. I never know which one Craig is on. Yeah. But he was talking about how the coaches for Finland and for Sweden and these other federations, they just don't know how to handle this kind of stuff. Like today, Rasmus Andersson and Jesper Bratt were healthy scratches.
Like, healthy.
It's insane. And it's
gotta be.
They're healthy. And it's because the coaches they're still in Europe. And it's, I think there's a real power struggle. Like, you guys think you know what you're doing in the NHL. Well, now you're on my watch. And they're just getting schooled by Cooper and obviously by the Americans and Sullivan. And, John Cooper must be looking at these coaches thinking, what is happening here? This is not a fair fight. Like, John Cooper with his staff, you look at all of them. There were Cassidy and Tocchet and DeBoer. They must go back to their back room and plan for everything and look on the other side and say, how do you even prepare for what the other team's doing? Because that coach doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Game 1, Ekman-Larsson's ice time was 0-0-0.
Right.
Not a shift.
In a blowout against Italy. Like, how do you not give him 8 or 10 minutes?
Yes.
Just say, everyone get your feet wet.
After it's 5-0, go ahead and get out there.
Philip Forsberg didn't play.
You know what it is, though? You're exactly right, Brian. It is them thinking that they're smarter than everybody else. I know you guys play in the NHL, but this is international hockey. We know what we're doing. And you know what? Stupidity like that, you hope that they get rinsed. Now, they're a good team, so I wouldn't sleep on Sweden.
No,
that's the one thing
or
I will say.
I hear you.
I wouldn't sleep on these teams because when you have one game, it's just a one-game take-it-all, you move on, anything can happen. I think the Americans, they get a little too greasy. The Kachuk brothers get too many penalties or something. Sweden will make them pay. Like, you got to be mindful of that. That's
but
the
Jamie,
type of
imagine
stuff.
being in the locker room and saying Rasmus Andersson.
Yes.
You're telling me they have 3 better right-handed defensemen than that to go in instead of him.
Some guy named Rick Eriksson that plays in the Swedish Division 1 league is going to take Rasmus's spot.
Jesper Bratt as well. Like, Bratt was on the top line, I think, to start the tournament. So, I mean, I don't know what the thinking is. I have a feeling I know what it is. But, needless to say, it feels like it's trending towards Canada, USA. I think that's what everyone's hoping for. Just give us the one-off. Give us one game where it might be maybe the greatest accumulation of talent we've ever seen. Close. There's obviously been other examples in the past, in 2002 and 2010 and the 96 World Cup and 87, 72. You can go to, but it's a small list. In terms of best-on-best international hockey, if you go to one game, you're talking 5, 6, 7 possible examples. And this one could possibly be it if we get there. Now, both teams have got to find a way to get through this. It's not easy. Canada's going to play Czechia again tomorrow. Obviously, they're much better. They should win somewhat easily. But we talked about Lucas Dostal. Like, is he capable of a 50-save miracle? Yes, he could. Is it likely? Probably not. But could he do it? Absolutely. He could do it. So you got to keep your head on straight. And I think Canada will. Like, I feel like they're going to come out and they're on their toes and ready to play. But I just want to see gold medal Canada-U.S. Just get there. Give us one unbelievable, unforgettable game. Let the chips fall whichever way they might.
I'd like to see it too. And I everything's trending that direction, but you have to respect the opponents. And you're right. Lucas Dostal is a guy that I think he had a game last year against Edmonton. He made like 47 saves and like shut them out like 2-0 and was ridiculous. Like he's a good young goalie in the league. Canada's got too much firepower. I think they'll find a way to get to him. But, and I just, this McDavid guy looks like he's not going to be shut down. Like he looks like
that one goal he scored against France, I think it was the fastest I've ever seen him skate. I'll give Celebrini credit too, because he kind of kept up with him and stayed on side and just feathered that little pass and like for that breakaway. Yeah, he's
cooking.
He's flying, man. And him with Celebrini, like we're always trying to come up with analogies. And, I've talked to the Quizmasters and others when we were all preparing for what this team could look like. Yeah. And, I remember mentioning, well, if you put McDavid with McKinnon, could it be the equivalent of Gretzky and Lemieux in 87? And it was pushback on that because Lemieux was younger and he wasn't as established. Well, that's kind of what this could be. Like Lemieux was very young, and they said, you're too good to play on the third or fourth line. You're playing with Gretzky. Like, go play with him and just keep up. And just have your stick on the ice and be ready. And clearly that's the messaging here. Like Celebrini is good enough for that assignment. He has proven it. He knows he's riding shotgun with McDavid. In 87, whoever was playing with Gretzky, that's your job. Keep up with that guy. Try to play on his level if you can. And Celebrini has done it brilliantly. And I do think there's a chance, we look back on that as like this was the launching pad for Celebrini because going first overall is going to do a lot for you. Winning the Rookie of the Year is going to do a lot for you, or chasing it down anyway. But playing in San Jose, he didn't get the same hype in his draft year that Bedard did. Certainly not what McDavid or Sid or Lindros got. Right. But you play at this level with this guy, and you ride shotgun and you perform, and you have a big moment in a gold medal game. It's a launching pad that is just unparalleled.
Well, Hayes, he started his launching pad at the beginning of this season where I think I don't think Doug Armstrong and this whole staff kind of penciled him in to begin with, let alone playing with Connor McDavid. But the way that guy, his launching pad was the first 50 games of the season where everybody was like, oh, my God. And I got to be honest, watching him at the World Juniors, I said, this guy's probably going to be like a Jonathan Toews player, well-rounded player. I didn't see being the offensive kind of megastar that he's going to be. I never saw that.
Is he close to generational for you? I know we always talk about these things, and it's probably unfair, but I think he's more close to superstar / generational than the other way.
That's, I guess, what I'm driving at here, and it's up to him to pull his weight. Yeah. What I'm saying is he didn't get the generational buildup.
Buzz, yes.
Like it's been McDavid, Sid, Lindros, Lemieux, Gretzky in my lifetime. And Gretzky
didn't
was
get
before
it, Brian,
mine.
Because it wasn't really worthy.
But that's my point. Right. Yes, exactly. He wasn't worthy of it as a kid going to college, and then, he spent a lot of time in the States, obviously, as a kid.
Just kind of okay at the juniors, and everyone was like, he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a hell of a player. And the other thing, too, and listen, not that we're guilty of it, but if he played on a Canadian team, it would be a lot more, the fanfare would be there, right?
100%.
San Jose is as far as you can get away from prime time.
Yes.
10:30 at night most nights in Eastern to watch him play if you want to watch him play. And how many people can put up their hand and said they watched San Jose and Anaheim play this year? 10:47 puck drop.
And that's, I guess, again, where I challenge that. You're right, the way he played the first 50 games. And for diehard people in the hockey bubble, that was his launching pad. It wasn't for, Joe from Ottawa who just watches Sens game and checks in. This is a different platform and a different marketing possibility for him because, the reality of it is Toronto, Montreal, New York, Boston, Philly kind of drive the narrative of sports, and for the most in hockey anyway. I mean, those are the big Eastern markets where the media is, and it kind of drives stuff. And if you're playing at 10:37 p.m. Eastern time, it doesn't land for people in the East Coast necessarily. It's not that people aren't aware what he's doing, of course, but watching it like this has the possibility, and it opens up the door for him to do it because McDavid's already established it. Like, Sid's still rolling. McKinnon's rolling. McCarr's ability to skate and stick handle and rip a shot home is absurd. Like, absolutely. This goal he scored against France was gross. Like, you see that at every hockey school in the country. Like, over the top crossovers, over the top stick handles, and then rip one top cheese. And you're like, no one's ever going to do that in a game. He did it at the Olympics. And you're like, okay, that's kind of normal for him.
He does it on a nightly basis.
Yes.
He does,
He's so good. But Celebrini has been the one, and there's been other really good stories, really good players. But the fact that he's 19 and performing like that, and everyone, you can see it on their faces. You can hear it after the game. They're all looking at him like, you got to keep pulling your weight. Like, you're gonna factor into winning a gold here. That's how good he's been.
I got to give you credit because you were one of the first voices to ever say, and it was about end of November-ish.
I was going to say November-ish,
You were like, that kid shouldn't just make the team. He should be slotted on one of the top two lines and be a prominent player. What a call.
If we went back on a Jay's show, right? Like you're probably on a Jay's show, Onright show, yelling and screaming, saying Celebrini has got to play top line.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But I do remember it was like November.
Maybe Coop was listening. You never know.
He should be
bullish on him.
He should
bullish
be.
on him.
Well, listen, he's been really good, man, and McDavid's been good, and yet this is where it really starts. You're right. The other thing that's been quiet is nobody's worried about the goaltending so far. You're getting a lot of goal supports. You're not really. But I thought Logan Thompson looked really dialed in. Mm-hmm.
Like I liked him in his game. I think Bennington's been sharp, but now the test starts.
Now it gets going.
Again, I said it at the starting of the show. The quality of competition has not been good. Now you're starting to get some teams that are legit. Real good team.
Yes.
And you have to be mindful.
Weed out France and Italy and all that kind of stuff, and it's going to be go time. And, you look at the Americans, it's because they don't get covered to the same extent, obviously, in our country, but we all have social media. We all know what's going on in the States. The Tkachuk brothers are doing what they're doing. Yeah. The Tkachuk, Matthew, and Draisaitl chirp was obviously a chirp seen and heard around the world.
Yeah.
Always a bridesmaid, never a bride, which is harsh.
Tough. Yeah, it was tough.
But what it sets up for is if it is Canada-U.S., and maybe it's someone before that, you cannot allow Matthew Tkachuk to win again. Like, you just can't. And I say that out of the utmost of respect because he's a classic. I'd do anything for him to be on my team guy. But for him to win Stanley Cup gold in 3 years would be
insufferable.
Insufferable, but also the most success I can think of a high-end villain or heel ever. I mean,
exactly.
I can't think of anyone at his level, future Hall of Famer, great player, chirps, punches, scrums.
The guy that I can think of, the guy that won some Stanley Cups in Colorado and Jersey, is Claude Lemieux, where everyone was like, I hate that guy's guts, but the guy, he would be the one skating around with the trophy at the end, man. How many cups did Claude win? Like, he
won a fair amount.
Wow. 3 or 4.
And he was public enemy number one. The Chris Draper hit from behind against Detroit. And
he was good, but not Matthew Tkachuk.
No, Tkachuk.
I was just trying to think of a comparable where someone was hated that just kept winning cups.
That's it. Like, you think of a guy who's a voice box and a personable, entertaining guy. You look at JR, you look at Roenick, but Roenick never won. Right. Roenick never won cups. And Claude Lemieux was that villain, hated, but wasn't at the same level in terms of, skill and production and importance, and he's not a Hall of Famer. Matthew's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And your first reaction as a player, Hayes, and I'm sure you know this playing the game, like you're just like, okay, like you beat us in the finals once, you beat us in the finals twice. Why do you feel the need to attack me when you're up 3-4-0? It's like, what is enough for you? But for some guys, that stuff, it just makes them go, and they're never going to stop. Like, it just doesn't end. Like, he'll be up 7-0 on some, French team, France, and he'll just be giving it to, like, that's just what makes them go, and they're not going to stop.
Hey, listen, Marchand is the same.
Exactly.
Brad is the equivalent on Canada for many ways.
Guy
and he's
licks
won
people's helmets, people's faces.
He's won 2 cups and a gold, and he'll be right in everyone's grill the whole time.
They don't have an off switch. They don't have, it's like, hey, I'm going to take it light. And when they get out there, they play for keeps.
Yep.
And off the ice, like I know the Kachuk brothers, they're good guys.
Yep.
Like they're the guys you want on your team. The parents have done a really good job bringing up this hockey family. The sister's an unbelievable athlete. Like, they're a very close family. You want them on your team. You hate to play against them. They play for keeps, and they'll do anything to win. That's how they are. That's how they're wired. But it is tough because eventually you see, Florida's not going to win a cup every year. Like, Matthews not going to have that success. And people, when you're on your way up or you're at the top, people are waiting to kick you in the ass on the way down too, right?
Yep,
like that's
right.
Eventually that's coming for you. But when they're competing, man, they're something else. They're electric to watch.
They're on it, man. They're on it. And Matthews, I think he's had a pretty good tournament, but he takes heat. The Americans, and I think a lot of that. I think it's a combination of his disposition and the way he plays. We all know he's not a fiery personality. And when you compare him to the Kachucks, it's not a fair fight. Like, those two are yelling and screaming and doing interviews and hitting people, and that's not Austin Matthews. It never has been and never will be.
When it's side by side, everyone's like, how come you're not like that?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And that's why, again, you look at his history in Toronto. If one of those guys were with him, his history would be different. But he's been with Marner and Nylander and Tavares, who are exactly like him.
No kidding.
Like the exact same personality, and they play the same way. No hitters and just going out and ultimate skill, fiery. They want to win. They're giving you 100% effort, but they're not wired the same way, and they don't play the same way. So, you get to a moment like this, and it's like, well, why aren't you like that? And I do think there's the fact that he's a Maple Leaf just factors into this.
By the way, it didn't take
I
you
have
10
to
years
believe that.
I think it
didn't take you 10 years to figure out that that's kind of weird and backwards, right? That all of them are exactly the same.
Well, it's a big reason as to why they have 2 playoff wins in 9 years.
Yeah,
exactly.
Listen, the band's broken up. They've still got to find their way. This Nylander, he's got an opportunity. If somehow Sweden shocks the world, like, he's going to be front and center.
That's
time. I think he'll be the guy that is front and center. And, Canada's got to keep doing what they're doing. I think they've got to play desperate, because it's the minute you start to get comfortable there's enough talent in that tournament to humble you.
Big
and
time.
I think they've got to find that, that fire. And I've liked what I've seen, but again, I've said at the start of the show, my simmer is still low until next week, until we start. I guess later this week, or is it this week? Later
tomorrow.
This week.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Yeah, they play tomorrow. Yeah.
Got my days mixed up. I thought it was Monday today. It was Tuesday. So, but yes, now we're ready to go, type of thing.
All right, so we've got Frankie coming up. We got Confirm or Deny coming up later this afternoon. We've got Tigers speaking with an interesting comment on the Masters. We'll get to that. We'll play it. Aaron Judge speaking with an interesting comment on the New York Yankees. And there will be a new executive director for the MLBPA. And, man, did this take a left turn about 25 minutes ago as to maybe why there is going to be a new executive director. We'll tell you about that. OverDrive continues. TSN 1050 and up on YouTube Live.
Rookie. All new Mondays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel, giving you more ways to play your games your way. Get to our best bets later this afternoon. Confirm or deny in about an hour. So, camps are open now throughout Major League Baseball. The Jays are all there. They did a great job. John Schneider had addressed the team in the clubhouse down there, and they had cameras in there, and they posted it online on the Blue Jays website. And I thought he did a really good job of addressing the team and saying, hey, last year's last year, man. You got to turn the page and move on. It's now it's about 26, and you can't just talk about, well, we did this and we did that. You got to try to improve on it.
Great message, Hayes. I got to say, though, nothing's sacred anymore. It started with the pics of the guys coming in the room, and now it's all access, and I get it, fans. But there is nothing sacred anymore. The Baltimore Orioles skip was giving his team a speech, and it was great and everything, and I'm like, that stuff's supposed to be for the guys in the locker room, man. I can't believe that. I just can't believe where it's gone. I get it. People want access. Fans probably looked at that and said, I feel like I'm a part of the team. That's where I'm telling the guy with the camera to get out. That's just my opinion on that.
Well, you know how the mandate now is, especially with your partners, they want everything pushed out to social media. I know there's things that they want.
I know, Jamie, but there's some things got to be sacred. They won't tell anybody who's the starting goalie, but they'll let a guy in there for the pregame speech or all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I just don't like it. I get it. People want to see that stuff, but I don't know. There's got to be some stuff that's sacred behind closed doors. It just seems like nothing is.
That's a valid point. Now, I think what it needs to be acknowledged here, this isn't partners. This is the Blue Jays. And what is happening now is all of these sports teams, they see an avenue to probably more revenue, more connection to their fans by creating their own content in-house.
Yes.
Right, and blasting it out. This isn't Sportsnet in there or TSN in there with a camera. This is some guy from BlueJays.com.
Yeah,
this is a staffer with an iPhone.
And that's why they don't have the power to kick them out anymore, because it's coming from the top, right? This again, if this was, hey, this is a reporter from the Star, what's he or she doing there? Get the hell out. They'd fight for you. Now I would think if John Schneider goes and says, I'd rather the camera not be here, well, actually the owner wants it here. So
exactly.
Take a lap and go give your little speech because we're going to record it and post it. Okay.
It is true, though.
You're right. It is a different world, man. I love it. I think it's incredibly compelling. I do think it's worthy of a conversation of where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Where else is it going to go? How far do you
it started out Hayes. I couldn't believe. What was the Leaf doc called? All of the hockey docs were they were filming coaches talking about players and
the Crave and all of that, whatever.
Yeah, just all of that stuff where it's some of that stuff. I don't know how people got through that. The docs, I don't know. It's I found it fun to watch when I'm on an airplane. I tune it up and I watch it. But I was just man, that's just, how did somebody say, it had happened a few times where they're just get the camera out of here. It can't, this can't happen.
You remember,
that's what people want, man. They want to see that stuff.
I think it was a Prime series, right? And I remember the one time when it was a Game 7 last year, Matthews walked in and pointed to the cameraman and said, out.
Get out.
And then and that was, they were down 3-1 or something like that, and Chief came in and was yelling and screaming, all that type of stuff. That's a mandate. You're right. They signed the deal, and those people are around. I believe, quote me on this, but I do believe that the Maple Leafs have last right of refusal on some of the
team
stuff.
Generally would, yes,
right,
for
that
sure.
Gets posted, but there's hard conversations behind the scenes. We saw the first one there when Sheldon and Dubas were still there talking on trades, talking about players, giving.
Who's
Mitch
my starting goalie?
Yeah, exactly. That type of stuff. But I like it.
It's incredibly compelling content. Incredibly compelling.
But this is where it's different from, you're in our days, where it's there was nothing around. There were no cameramen were allowed anywhere near the team, anything. Nowadays, that's just the way of life. Mm-hmm. You're seeing now, you can get live updates of what Connor McDavid's up to, because you can follow his wife, Lauren, and she's on Instagram, and you can see her walking around in Milan and all of these types of things. Like, there's so much more access to these guys' lives because some of them have chosen to be on social media, and the minute you put yourself out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And that's, some people are more private, others are, they enjoy that, and they've embraced it. It's just a different world, and we have to accept that. As athletes, those guys, that's what they have to be wired to that.
Well, in this case, it's the manager, I guess, and
Yep.
I'm sure he's okay with it. I'm sure if he had a big issue with it, they would side with John Schneider, I would think.
Right.
If he said, hey, I got something I want to tell the guys and I don't want anyone else privy to it, then I would like to believe the manager would be able to trump that.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't anything that was overly salacious or unpredictable. Great season last year. We're here. Let's get rocking. Let's get playing, blah, blah, blah. I found it just, very intriguing that you're in the room. You're in the room, and that's and now people are salivating for that. Where do you draw the line on it? I don't know. I don't have that answer because then you get also customers, and that's what ultimately everyone is, getting angry if you stop that from happening, right? Like, hey, you can't take us on the ride all the way here and then close the door now. Like, we want to be in the room now. You know what I mean? What's going on now? Like, what's happening now?
Who are some of the worst teams in Major League Baseball? The Miami Marlins?
Yeah, Oakland's always bad.
You notice how you don't see any of their skips, like any of their you see nothing.
Well, yeah, in large part because nobody cares.
No, that's right. It's like, who the hell would want to hear a skip talk to those losers? And what's he possibly going to say? This is our year. No, it's not.
No, stop. You're wasting everybody's time.
Yes,
it's not your year. The Chicago White Sox, it's not your year. Colorado Rockies. Sorry, it's not your year.
Can you imagine a Colorado Rocky fan pulled up his phone and was like, here's the skip giving a pump-up speech to the boys this year? You'd be like, no way,
Never.
dude.
What if the skip was honest? Like, remember, as the World Junior coach, what was that?
Yes.
What country was that from?
They're better than us.
They're better than us in every facet.
They all first-round picks.
Yeah, like what country was that? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Slovenia or Slovakia or something like that.
Imagine if that was a major league skip going, hey, guys, we know what we're in for this year. But
we are going to be horrendous.
That Colorado Rocky skip, he should have that was his. Wasn't that historically one of the worst seasons ever?
Yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was. I mean, it's been awful, right? The White Sox a couple of years ago broke the 1960 Mets record of losses.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There's been a lot of it over the last couple of years. Just really, really bad teams in pro sports. The NBA's dealing with it right now with tanking and how do you handle it. And in baseball, it's the same thing. I'll tell you where I'd love to have a camera is in Tony Clark's office over the last couple of years because he is now the former executive director of the Players Association in Major League Baseball. And he resigned today. And at the time, because everyone is kind of bracing for impact with a work stoppage, right? Like almost everyone in the baseball world thinks we're going to get through this year and then there's a storm coming. And there's a number of owners in baseball that are committed to a salary cap, and they're going to fight for it, and there's going to be a work stoppage, whether it's short-term, long-term, they miss a year, multiple years, who knows. So when it came out earlier this afternoon, I think it was, maybe late morning, that he was resigning, there were people thinking, oh, this must have something to do with that philosophy. Like he's staunchly against it, and the players are like, no, it had nothing to do with any of that.
What did he do?
So Tony Clark resigned amid a federal investigation Tuesday. So I guess they've been looking at some really funky business going on in terms of like money and where some of the money's been allocated. And that was
money from where?
From the union, like the union's money. So the players are pump. You guys know what it is. You pump into the union for all the people that work for it and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Turns out that wasn't exactly what was going on. So Clark actually resigned after an internal investigation revealed he had an inappropriate relationship with his sister-in-law who had been hired by the union in 2023. So old Tony had hired his sister-in-law, and turns out Tony was
working some late nights.
He was burning the midnight oil with the sister-in-law, and someone sniffed it out and said, you can't work here anymore, Tony.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's tough.
Adios.
So it has nothing to do with work stoppages
No.
or salary caps.
No.
So he wasn't
Absolutely
like
nothing.
filtering money into his own account or anything.
Well,
like that.
I mean, I do think that is a concern that, where some of the money is gone in terms of, I guess there's different one-team partners, a multi-billion-dollar group licensing company, part owned by the union, and where some of the money is being filtered. Youth baseball initiatives spent millions of dollars, and I guess some people were like, where did it go? So it's deeper than that. But I think ultimately the smoking gun is the sister-in-law. That's a problem.
Exactly.
That's going to be an issue for people, for Tony.
Thanksgiving dinner is going to be tough to shoot.
Tough to come
I think
back
Tony
from that.
is probably in trouble there. That's what's happening. We had Aaron Judge with an interesting comment on the Yankees and their offseason. We'll get to that in the next hour. Saw Tiger today because the tours got the Genesis at Riviera, which is great to be back at Riviera. It was an unbelievable tournament at Pebble Beach. Unbelievable live tournament, too. Shout out to Anthony Kim at Live Adelaide. That was awesome to see him win
God,
for the
people were
first time in
going
forever.
nuts when Jimmy Nance wouldn't say anything about it on the CBS broadcast. It's like, why would Jimmy Nance bring it up?
Right, it's their competition.
No kidding.
He's got his own thing going on, and the leaderboard at Pebble was unbelievable. Why would you care about Live Golf?
Great for Kim, though, man. He was one of my
Unbelievable.
favorite players. That guy went around Augusta National one time and made 11 birdies in one round.
Such an amazing comeback story.
Did you believe Tiger today saying that he's
We'll
not
get to
ruling
that.
it out?
Give us some time. We'll let it percolate. We'll talk about that later this afternoon. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 5.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Confirm It Tonight coming up. Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza. So we have the final set on the women's side, to no one's surprise, Canada-USA on Thursday. And the quarters are set for Canada. They are going to play Czechia tomorrow. So you've got Wednesday, Friday, Sunday if you make it to the gold medal round. And Mark Masters has been over there for weeks, seemingly. It's interesting because the Leafs are back on the ice today.
Yeah.
Right? Like Riley's out there. Joshua's out there. It sounds like Chris Tanev skated before the practice. So Tanev being on the ice, I think that's pretty significant news. We'll see what happens with Tanev if he's going to be available. But when they return, man, it is go time. Like they play 6 games in like 9 nights to start their comeback tour. So It's going to hit them quickly. Let's head over to Milan. Here's our Olympic reporter. Leaf reporter, tennis reporter, he does it all. Here's Mark Masters. How you doing, Mark?
I am doing great. Good to be on with you guys. It's crazy. We're just kind of mapping out the travel plan for the Leafs coming out of the break, and I'm like, oh, man, back to the grind. I'm here at the Olympics and gearing up for what feels like one of the biggest games I'll ever cover, maybe coming up, and then we're like, when are we going to fly to Tampa and Florida? And we got this back-to-back next week. So, yeah, the grind is going to be real coming up here.
No kidding, man. And I saw you caught up with Austin Matthews today. Anything different from him, like from an Olympic perspective, based on how you cover him on a daily basis with the Leafs? What did you take from your conversation with Austin?
Not much. I don't think he's given away much. He's really liking where his game's at, where his line's at with Gensel and Boldy. They're coming on after maybe a bit of a slow start to the tournament. He seems to be enjoying it. I was just kind of talking to him about the late starts. The Americans are kind of the night owls. I'm sure the NBC has something to do with that. All their games have been 9-10 p.m. starts. Again, tomorrow night, it looks like they'll be playing. Sweden's up right now. They'll be playing Sweden tomorrow in their quarterfinal at 9-10. So he was talking about getting used to that and hanging out with the women's team in the Village and how determined they are and how he'll be rooting for them on Thursday. And, not giving away much, but seems to be in a good place. And his line mates have been raving about him. And he was taking a little heat from the American media early in the tournament. And it seems like he's kind of rounding into form right now.
Masters, you just mentioned the women's tournament. Like, just being there, do you think sooner or later another nation has to compete? And it just I know it's been Canada, USA forever, but somebody told me years ago, it's like, don't you worry, sooner or later another nation's going to compete. And I don't think it's even really close right now. Do you think that needs to happen in that side of it?
I mean, you'd hope it's going to happen, and sooner than later. And these other countries have to, get going a bit. But Switzerland, as much as they were outshot and dominated territorially yesterday, it still ended up being a 2-1 game. Obviously, Canada hasn't really found its top level, or maybe just this is their reality right now with this group. But
they
that
outshot
game ended up being tighter.
46-8.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't close in terms of the shots and the territorial. At least the score though was tight, and the Swiss captains at the podium afterwards calling Canada shaky and beatable. So yes, no, you're right. It would be great. It would be better, obviously, if it was. If there was more teams that felt like they were legitimate gold medal contenders, and everyone kind of saw this coming, Canada, U.S. in the final. So it would be nice, and hopefully we'll get there at some point soon.
Mark, let's get to the Team Canada men's. What do you think is the biggest storyline coming out of it right now from you being around the team, you being around, and, the buzz with that group?
So the biggest story for Canada, it feels like, is just Nathan McKinnon right now. He missed practice today. He seemed to hurt his leg, it felt like, on a hit late in that game. He was obviously incredibly agitated after taking that high hit that led to the Tom Wilson fight. So he leaves. He didn't look, he didn't look great physically at the end of that game. Doesn't practice today. And on the ice, he's been fine, but he hasn't been as explosive as like Connor McDavid, obviously, who's on another level right now. But McKinnon's the guy who's leading the NHL in goals this season. He's right up there in the Hart Trophy race. You'd think that the line he's on is going to be, a dominant line as well. And it hasn't quite been that way for him. So they say he's going to play. John Cooper says he has zero concern about his status. He's a bull. He's a powerful kid, but I think that's the story right now is can Nathan McKinnon kind of join McDavid and have that crazy great line. And then Canada's really rolling there because the Crosby line with Marner and Stone's been good, and the McDavid line, especially McDavid's on another level. So, if McKinnon gets going already, Canada's a favorite. It's hard to see him being beat if McKinnon gets up to his top gear.
Mark, you've been around Austin Matthews moving the needle. You know what kind of needle McDavid moves. What are we talking about with Celebrini here? Like, where do you think he can go, and what kind of feedback is he getting from teammates and different people from around the tournament?
It's the loving continues. I mean, it just feels like I think I was talking to our friend Chris Johnston, and was writing an article earlier this year about Celebrini. He's kind of your favorite NHL player's favorite player, and that just keeps growing, right? I mean, we had a moment earlier this tournament where Nathan McKinnon said that Celebrini is maybe the second best player in the world right now, and he's just the way that penalty shot played out, where he says, he didn't know that they could choose anyone. He just went there and then took it and scored. Didn't look at the bench, just did his thing. Great move, great poise. Sam Bennett is like ice in the veins, and this is the reigning Conn Smythe Trophy winner. So it's an absolute love-in. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, the French captain's like, if this is the future of the NHL, it's a good thing I'm out of the league right now because he is just looking like the next one, right now. That's how it feels.
With Mark Masters, and you mentioned McKinnon and his status. Obviously, it sounds like Brad Marchand is going to go into the lineup, and Josh Morrissey was skating today, and he looks like he's ready to return. That is a pretty big impact, considering what he can do if he's at 100%. Is that your read on the situation, Masters? And if so, does he just team back up with Parayko, and the defense is back to where it was for Game 1?
Yeah, I think Morrissey looked great to my eye at practice. He was skating beside Colton Parayko. I would expect he's going to play. Certainly, John Cooper said he expects everyone to be available. So Brad Marchand back in, and Canada will be at full strength in terms of everyone that they want to address being there. It looked like Sanheim's probably the odd man out, just like the way it started. Shea Theodore was quarterbacking the second power play unit. So assuming there isn't some last minute kind of setback or something, it looks like Josh Morrissey's going to play. He spoke to Ryan Rishaug, so he did an interview today, and he seemed to be in pretty good spirits. So I expect Morrissey, and that's important, right? Because if there's a Achilles heel, you're thinking goaltending or defense for Canada, right? We know the forward group is clicking along, the incredible depth there, but if they were going to have an issue in this tournament, the defense might be shaky and they might not get the saves. They've been mostly getting the saves, obviously. We had the Parayko turnover that led to a goal against France, but for the most part, the defense has been holding up. But certainly a stronger group when Morrissey is back and healthy. And again, he looked really good at practice today.
Awesome. Great catching up with you, Mark. Enjoy the week. We'll do it again soon.
Any questions for William Nylander after this game?
How's he looking? Is he healthy? Is Willie going to be able to get through the Olympics and play 25 games for the Leafs? What do you think about that?
I don't know. He practiced yesterday, so he had missed a couple practices, so it was good that he was practicing. He seemed pretty good. He hasn't played Matthews in forever because he missed him at the Four Nations. So it's going to be fascinating if Sweden gets this done tonight. Sweden, U.S., one of those teams not in the medal round. So much pressure on both those countries if that's the quarterfinal we see tomorrow night. So I'm sure he'll be pumped, and he's always seems to take it to another level. He loves playing for Sweden, loves playing these pressure games. So I'll be watching him. I'll be talking to him in a few minutes here after this game.
Can't wait. We'll catch you online reporting on that at SportsCenter tonight. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Mark Masters. Yeah, that is pretty wild. Sweden, USA in the quarters. That's going to be a great game, man. And Mike Sullivan kind of complaining about, we play late every night and then we get back to the village and it's tough to get to sleep.
Well, that would piss me off, too. It's 9-10 starts, really?
Well,
I don't think so.
Talk to NBC about that. That's NBC that makes that call. NBC makes the call on every single scheduling plan.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I never thought about it like that.
That's what it is.
It's not like they're getting screwed on the draw.
No, it's their country's doing it. If NBC was fine, put them at 10:40, they play at 10:40 a.m. They play when NBC tells them to play, effectively.
It's about ratings.
Yes.
Half the people are like, when are they playing? Tonight at 7? It's no, the game's over already. They were at, you're having a tough time keeping the schedule when it's 6 hours ahead in
But
Italy.
this is the point. If they play, every game they play is at 3:10 p.m. Eastern time, you can market that.
Right.
Right? When you want to watch the men's team, it's 3:10 Eastern time every time they play.
Yep.
Until the gold medal on Sunday, which is at 8:10 Eastern, which is absurd, but that's when the game is.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think that's what's happened, right? NBC, they basically run the Olympics. They spent so much money, and it's all about TV and ratings and consistency and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. No one wants to hear it. Like, just relax.
Just play the
Please.
games
Just
and
play.
we'll watch. That's
Exactly.
it.
Just play. But, the Leafs, you look at their schedule, they are back a week tomorrow. They're at Tampa Wednesday, at Florida Thursday, home to Ottawa Saturday, home to Philly Monday, at Jersey Wednesday, at New York Thursday, home to Tampa Saturday.
I'm telling you, that's a crazy schedule, and I'm worried about William Nylander. So you're telling me he's going to have a bad groin, fly from Vancouver over to the Olympics, play in the Olympics. He's hardly practiced, and then when that's over, he's going to go through that, what you just mentioned, with a groin?
I don't know. It doesn't seem.
Sure. No, it doesn't seem realistic.
Likely, and that's just the start. It's like they play 25 games in 50 nights, basically.
Right till April 13th. That's what it's like.
Like back-to-backs and 3 and 4s. I mean, that's what's coming. And they have dug themselves such a hole that they have to win 8 out of 10 games. They have to.
8 out of every 10.
Basically. Yep. All right, hour 2 coming up. Frankie will join us. Confirm or deny coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 5.
you ever wonder what it's actually like to line up and play ball? Not what you say in the post-game interview, not what the pundits said. What is it actually like? If you're looking for a little something more, you've come to the right place. This is Film Never Lies, and I'm your host, Luke Wilson.
The NBA lives here on TSN and TSN Plus. This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Hour 2 OverDrive continues, powered by FanDuel. We'll get to confirm or deny later in the hour. Something to chew on, brought to you by Boston Pizza coming up. Frankie Corrado will join us. And we're waiting for the women's final. The men's quarters goes down tomorrow. The Olympics continuing. It's kind of crazy. You got the Olympic Games going on. You had the NBA All-Star Game take place. And, like, the Leafs are back on the ice. The trade freeze, comes off relatively soon by the end of the week, I believe. And you got spring training back. Like, it's like the Jays. It felt like Game 7 of the World Series was like 4 days ago.
I know. By the way, that NBA All-Star Games, please stop coming up with your ideas. It's just gotten out of, like, it's so bad. The whole thing is garbage. It's all garbage. They have to, I don't know how they're going to do that, man. Like, I don't know what would make those guys want to play and be interested, Hayes, because it is, it's just so pathetic.
No All-Star game where anybody cares. And that's ultimately the problem. Like, that's really at the core of it. You just hit it. When the audience knows the players don't really care and they're not really trying, then no one's really going to be committed to it. And it's the same way when the NHL does their All-Star game. The Pro Bowl is insane now.
But why did it? The Pro Bowl?
They're playing flag football.
They're doing a skills competition on a field.
It's horrendous. Horrendous.
Yeah. When did it start? When did the decline start? When they started making, like, really serious dollars? Like, what happened to the All-Star game when Gretzky versus Lemieux, and it was a massive event, and it was like a big deal to play in it and care? It's gone up in smoke, man. It's gone up in smoke. I guess it's just the vigorous schedules and the money that guys make, and they just don't care. But they literally don't want to go.
And I think parity has something to do with it too. Guys are like, hey, I'd rather have a weekend off, rest my body, and you're playing every night. To me, and money factors in. You're right, if a guy's making $10 million a year, it's like I don't really care to go and they should focus on that. You're trying to partner with the league and grow the game. That's really the thought process. I think they should have some sort of, it doesn't even have to be an on-ice event. Maybe like a bazaar, like something go in for a weekend, and it's meet and greets. It's different types of things, because the NHL is awful. Remember, it was Patrick Kane's wearing a Superman outfit, and
they're all brutal.
There was some outrageous, like,
what about in
there.
Vegas where the Zegras kid had he had an outfit on, and it was
none of it is good. There's one possibility. It's baseball. It's like Ohtani pitching to Judge. You might get that. You might get Skeens pitching to Judge. You're like, I'll take it. I'll take it for that moment. Let's see what he's got.
Well, baseball, it's hard to mail in a baseball game, kind of. Like, it's still a great game to watch.
It definitely can be. Again, the result doesn't matter. That's another thing. Like, no one's got a connection to the American League. Oh, go American League. Like, who the hell cares? You know what I mean? Like, nobody cares. And it's the same thing. Like, oh, USA versus the world. What the world is, hey, we got a group chat going on over here in the world. I'm talking to people in Argentina and Japan, and everyone's jacked because the world is playing the U.S. at the All-Star game.
I think
Nobody
you just got to
cares.
get ahead of it. Whoever runs the leagues just have to say, this is just no longer a thing. It's no longer a thing. We will name All-Stars, and that's the extent of it. It's a weekend off in the league.
They must be making money or something, though. That's the thing, right? It's got to be lucrative in some way.
Well, dude, you saw how many people in downtown Toronto were walking around here a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Like, it was nuts.
It means something in those markets.
The local
That's where
economy.
It means something.
Exactly.
So.
In that particular city that gets it, it's good for that economy. It's good for that fan base. Outside, people watching it don't care. They don't like it.
Yeah. That's ultimately the reality of it. And I don't know. There's a lot of bitterness, man. Aaron Judge, we'll play the clip a little bit later. Like Judge, he's usually pretty reserved, captain of the Yankees, Mr. Yankee. He took a pretty good run at their offseason. And it's pretty fun to see the Yankees just take heat, not externally, but internally. Like
there's some grisly people to start the season. That stinky old Don Dombrowski in Philly with the comments.
Yeah, not happy. Like there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Of weird stuff going on. But anyway, we'll play that. We'll play some Tiger audio. We'll get to confirm it tonight a little bit later this hour. Joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline, here's our good friend, Frankie Corrado. Little round table. What's happening, Frankie?
Yeah. What's up? How we doing? What's up, boys?
We're doing well. Well, it's good to have you. And, obviously you've been watching all of the hockey. And on the men's side, what do you make of the news that appears to be almost confirmed that we're going to get USA-Sweden in the quarters, and the Americans will clearly be a heavy favorite, but do you think Sweden's got a chance at possibly upsetting them in the quarterfinals?
Yes, they do, but there's a lot of weird stuff happening with Sweden, but it feels like all the weird stuff that happens, they've seemed to overcome it. Like they've had some shoddy goaltending at times. There's some weird roster decisions, like Phil Forsberg's hardly playing at times. OEL's not really playing at times. Jesper Bradt's a healthy scratch, but I mean, the Swedish team is this. It can be really good in net. It has an unbelievable blue line, and you have speedy, creative wingers. Where they lack is down the middle of the ice. Like that's where you're going to find a way to expose the Swedish team. And what are the Americans? The Americans are solid in net, just as good of a blue line, and really solid down the middle of the ice. So if it comes to it, USA-Sweden, USA wins, it feels like where they're gonna win that game is down the middle. That's where the pace, U.S. can drive the pace a little bit more and have Sweden chasing the game.
Frankie, if you could give the U.S. and the Canadians some truth serum, who do you think wants the other one punted more and just says we don't want to deal with them, period? Do you think it would be the Canadians or the Americans?
No, it's the Americans. The Americans would say we don't want anything to do with Canada. When you see the way McDavid is playing right now, like a guy possessed, and we know how good McDavid is, and he's clearly taken his game to another level to the point where guys on his own bench are saying, hey, nice hit, Tom Wilson, except it was McDavid who made the hit. I think that's where the U.S. said, I don't know, like this guy might have unleashed something that we didn't know was there. Like if you're Team Canada, you look at the American team and you say, there's no surprises. We know exactly what they are, right? Like a very good team, big team. They want to try and check us. Everyone's been trying to check those Canadian players, the best guys, their entire lives, their entire careers. And they found a way to score and overcome it and be the best at every single level. So I don't think that scares them. But when you see the best in the world achieve a different level, I think that's what would spook the Americans a little bit and say, we didn't know this guy had this much more. And does that drive everyone along a little bit more? Now, with that being said, don't you guys feel like Team Canada has to clean up a little bit of some of the stuff they're doing with the puck, like at around offensive blue lines? Like it feels like there have been some times where it's a little
Frankie, see you later.
Press the button.
Frankie just said, see you later. I love that audio.
Is he on his Nona's porch or something?
It sounds like he's by a creek or something. Like, can you hear the water in the background?
I loved how it just like cut out. Like that's the first time I've ever seen it like drop live on air and it make that noise. It's like this guy is out of here.
You're out.
He's got a beautiful office in his house, and he's just like, let me go down by the creek and sit by the tree.
Listen,
and call the guys.
He's got twin young girls. You have no idea what probably this guy's dealing with that. But my thing is, he was just about to criticize Team Canada.
I know. We had something
all
great.
Of a sudden, like something, but he turned there.
Let's head back down to a van.
Let's go down to the van
by the river. a van down by the river. All right. Well, if Frankie can't come on, it's all good because we'll see what happens.
Phone it in. But I just think he was about to say, like, Team Canada does have to clean up some stuff. There has been a little bit of sloppy. They're just good enough to get by. And that's what bothers me about it is they haven't seen a good opponent yet. Now they're going to see good opponents.
Yeah, I mean, Czechia is they've already played Czechia, so they're going to play them again. And Czechia, I think, Frankie, you've seen some of the comments. They've had fun with it. Like Nate just said, hey, we through the first game because we knew we couldn't beat them twice in a row, which is a great line.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some
Really
people
funny.
write me being like, you better jump on that. And dude, he's joking. Like, he knows Canada's
Clearly.
Canada. Everyone knows it. And
Hayes, what about people jumping on the handshakes? They were like, you guys better show this on OverDrive, how the Americans, by the way, the guy was 30 feet up in the air, and he was sticking his hand out, and the Americans couldn't even see the guy, and then the Canadians were all slapping the guy's hand, and it was like, you guys better show this.
I also think the guy had a Team Canada jersey on, so why are you high-fiving the guy with a Team Canada jersey
He
on?
might have.
It was so silly. And then the other thing that I find comical is that people are getting all over Matthew Tkachuk for chirping Leon Draisaitl, saying he's always the bridesmaid. Like, what do you want him to say? Hey, buddy, great job out there. Really happy to be playing against you. It's the Tkachuks. That's what they do. This is the Olympics. Whether you're winning or losing, you're chirping guys. Like, let's get real here.
Yeah, that's how they operate. I do think Brady's much more subdued. Noodles, you would know more than us, clearly.
Yes.
Brady has to tone it down a little bit. Like, Matthew can say it because he's got 2 cup rings. Brady's played 6 playoff games in his career. So Brady
Fair
can't.
enough.
Like, it was awkward a little bit because Brady's laughing and he's like, I can't really chirp because that's Draisaitl.
He knows it's his brother. All he's doing is when little brother, or I guess big brother, is starting a fight, he's there to finish it because he's 8 feet tall.
Right.
That's what it is. Like, Matthew's the one at the bar picking the fight, and then the brother comes in and stuffs people into garbage cans. That's the way I see it with Brady. That's how the two of them are wired. You're right. Brady was in the background with a smile on his face. I didn't hear him.
He didn't say a word. You can't say anything to Leon. No.
Matthew can say whatever he wants. Literally, any game, anytime, he can say whatever he wants. He has earned that right. And quite honestly, like, even if he hasn't, who cares? We always want more personality. We want a little more flavor to these things. If a hot mic catches a guy chirping a little bit, it's great. It's great for business. And you know what? Like, I guess my worry with the hot mics and all, like, hearing these things is that, like, people aren't ready to, like, understand what actually gets said on the ice. Like, Noodles,
Dude,
you're
they
down
don't
there at ice level.
understand, Frankie.
Like,
they don't understand, man. Like, every guy that hated all the comments from Matthew Tkachuk, you look at his nerdy profile, and it's like, executive edit furry. Like, they're just nerds. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's a different world, man. It's not like, let's say HR would be called 45 times a game based on everything that gets said.
That's fair. Frankie, I wanted to go back and get your take on the coaching in Europe and the Swedish coach maybe benching or healthy scratching guys. And to me, I think there's something different. Maybe they're trying to outthink or outsmart everybody. What do you make of some of these European coaches and all of that?
No, it's a good question, Noodle. So I played almost 2 years in Europe before my career finished. My first year I played for Modo, right, in Sweden, legendary program. I had 3 head coaches that year. 3 head coaches. You know why? Some of the stuff that goes on there is bananas. Like, they can tell you we want to do this, but they can't tell you why they want to do it. And that's where, in a tournament like this, Canada and USA have such a significant advantage as far as how players are being deployed, how they're managing ice time, what kind of line combinations you have. Like, it's crazy stuff. Like, the year I played in Sweden, we had 3 different coaches with 3 different, like, D zones, neutral zones, whatever you want to call it. It's like, how can there be this many different ways to play in one season? And then when I went to the KHL, it was just like, we do this because we do this. Well, why do we do it? Just because we've decided that's what we're going to do. So, some of the stuff that's going on in this tournament, and, Craig was talking about it. I heard you guys talking about it earlier. It's, you have to know how to handle certain NHL players. It's why we see sometimes coaches get a start in the NHL and they stub their toe because they've never had to handle the star guys before. This is all the star guys combined on one team. It's not, you need to have experience with that. And I think some of the European teams, they're showing that they don't have that kind of experience managing those types of players.
If I was the star players of a team like Sweden, I would say for the next Olympics, we're not stepping foot on that ice unless we get an NHL coach or somebody capable. Yeah. We're not having a bozo clown show out there in the Olympics, the biggest sporting event in the world. You don't get a quality coach from the NHL, we're not going.
Well,
or some kind of
why
protest,
is there no European
you know what,
coaches? Why is there no European coaches in the NHL right now? Right, like there's plenty of them. Look, all these leagues, there's teams that are good every single year. Why has no one hired any of these guys?
Well,
like, I don't know.
You know what?
Something about it.
And something might change, because if Team Sweden loses to Team USA, they'll have a hockey summit going, what the hell's going on here? Like, to me, that's a team that probably should be in the medal rounds. And if they don't, if they end up losing, one of them's going home. Yeah. And I think they'll be hard looking at how the coaching was, how the preparation, all that type of stuff too, right?
Well, and don't you find this interesting? So it feels like Team USA has picked their team and they've sat around the boardroom and they've simulated games how to play Canada, right? Like, who's going on the ice when McDavid's out there? How are we killing a penalty when Canada's top unit? How are we doing things with the goalie pulled for or against? Like, it feels like everything they've done is to prepare for Canada. Now they've got the Swedes. What happens if you lose to Sweden and you don't even get a chance at Canada? Like, do you regret how you picked your team a little bit? Like, that's what I would be worried about. That's what the summit would be for the Americans if they lose to Sweden.
Well, again, it looks like Kyle Connor's on the outside looking in for Mike Sullivan. Again? Yeah, looks like he's going to be the 13th, 14th forward and may not even dress.
40 goal score. Sorry, can't.
Well,
make the
they
roster.
didn't have Caulfield. They didn't have Jason Robertson there. You got to have JT Miller. Got to have Vinny Trocheck out there playing. Got to have these guys, and that's Bill Guerin. But obviously Sullivan factors in. Just like we know Cooper had a really loud voice with his Canadian team, Sullivan clearly had a loud voice himself.
Yeah, and but Sullivan's Hayes, he must have thought, there's no way in hell after I embarrass this guy once that I'll ever have to do it again. And now he finds himself doing it again at the Olympics. That is crazy-ass stuff.
Like, we'll see what happens as of tomorrow, but based on lines today, it looks like Connor could be the odd man out. Well, I mean, you look at the Canadian side, they're going to get Czechia. And you mentioned McDavid and how well he's playing. The Crosby line's been really good. McKinnon's been good, but he's been banged up a little bit. That line hasn't been as good. Suzuki is trying to find his way a little bit. Hagel's been okay. But if you look at McDavid and Sid, who do you think, because you're asking a lot, they're both playing at a level that is absolutely absurd, especially when you consider Sid's age. Which one is more likely to have another gear, in your opinion, now that we're into the elimination round? McDavid or Sid?
Well, I think McDavid hit his gear. Like, he hit it already. Like, does he have another one? If he's in sixth, does he have seventh to go to? That would be the question around McDavid. I think Sid has another one that we've actually seen before. Like, we've seen it on the cup runs. We've seen it with the golden goal. Like, Sid has a track record of saying, I'm here. I'm in fifth. I can get to sixth. And so that would lead me down that road. But it will be interesting, if and when they do get the Americans, like you're gonna match up McDavid as hard as you can, but man, if you want to really go hard matchup shutdown line on McDavid, you're gonna open up a lot for Crosby. It feels like, so that would be, that's the luxury that you have if you're Team Canada. I think it's crazy how McDavid has come into this tournament and said, everything that you thought I was, I'm actually a little bit more, and now here it is. So, I mean, they've both had another level in the past. I think Crosby has another one that he can go to for sure.
Yeah, I think what's scary is they both might. Like, I think McDavid, as good as he's been, there's a chance he goes, all right, last week was the tune-up, now it's go time. And he's not going to play 25 minutes, although he might. In the gold medal game, Cooper might say, I got to play him more.
Open the door and push him out.
Yes.
That's it.
But if it's 18, 19 minutes, it might be insane the way he plays those minutes.
But that's the crazy thing right now, Hayes, about the way McDavid is getting deployed is he doesn't have to play 25. So the 18 or 17 minutes that he is playing, it's just he's so fresh and he's so ready to go. He doesn't have to pace himself at any point in this game. It's as soon as he gets on the ice, it's full throttle. You roll your lines, and he's back on, and he's like raring to go on the ice, which is different than what he does in Edmonton, I mean, he still puts together quality shifts, clearly, but man, it's like every single time he's on the ice.
Frankie, just one quick question before we get you out of here. Are you on your Nona's porch?
It's not my Nona's porch. It's my kids' Nona's porch. So, yeah, we're at Nona's for dinner right now, and the kids are inside just causing a ruckus. So that's why I'm outside doing the hit.
Okay. That makes sense. We can accept that. All right. Well, say hello to everyone for us.
There's a guy, if you guys listen to First Up, Rob from Woodbridge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at his house right now. Like, I'm literally – he's probably watching the show, and he's like, I know where this guy is right now, and I'm looking at Rob from Woodbridge's house. Hilarious.
Say hi to Rob for us, please, and the whole crew.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, boys. We'll talk soon.
There he is, Frankie Corrado, joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. It's time to Toyota and the 2025 Prius go up to 72 kilometers on battery alone, then seamlessly switch to hybrid mode. Check it out at Maple Toyota, right near Canada's Wonderland in the Maple Auto Mall.
You brought something up, Brian, about Crosby's line. Like, that Mark Stone is a hell of a player. Like,
yes.
I think he's a guy who underrated is the wrong word, because I think we all know what he's capable of.
Underappreciated.
Underappreciated is the word. Like, that line is pretty serious. I think, you've got Marner there. They all bring something a little bit different, right?
My guy, Jermaine Man Franklin.
Yeah.
Like he said, he tweeted out the other day, he goes, I just have a new appreciation for this guy. Like, he just intercepts so many pucks, and he has just this skating style. If you ever watched him in a morning skate, you'd be like, what? Yeah, but he just gets around and he gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he gets it done, man.
Yeah, he's so good.
But it's not style points, though. Like,
no, I get it.
It's ugly.
You used to watch him between the benches, how effective that guy is.
Every night, like when I'd watch him, he stands on the bench a lot. Doesn't sit. He stands there because he's so into the play. He's got, the end of his stick, the knob, that it's like 5 rolls of tape. It's this giant, handle that he's got. And he's got the ugly skating style and takes the helmet off, the salads everywhere. Like, this guy he just comes to play. Like, and he's a competitor. Like, every play, he treats it like it's his last shift. Like, I love the way he plays. I really do. I've always been a Mark Stone fan. He's a champion. He's a captain. You know what he can bring. To me, he's a fantastic
It's a
player.
great line, man. Marner's been great. Crosby's been great. It's a great line. It's your third line.
Yeah.
It's just
stabilizers, the coach calls them.
Yep, and that's exactly what it is. All right, confirm or deny coming up. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, best bets later in the hour. Get to confirm or deny here in a moment. Got some audio we want to play during confirm or deny. We're really spicing up the production, which I love. Doogie's on his A game, man.
Yeah?
Doogie's not in some Olympic break.
Ever since he touched down in San Francisco, he's gone to a new level.
He really has. He really has.
I disagree. I think he's found another level since he went to Arizona.
Yes.
Since he went to
Waste management.
Yeah.
You're right. Doogie put on a clinic down there. I think he's a wanted man in the state of Arizona.
He might be. Never know.
That's my only concern is he's not allowed back in the state. But, Doogie was living the high life, man. Dinners and breakfasts with Al Roker and everyone down there. Like, Doogie was really living a lifestyle in San Francisco that was spectacular.
Yeah. Some
Spectacular.
disappointing performances where I spoke with him and he said he was in bed at 9 p.m. in San Fran.
I know.
A 22-year-old guy or however old he is. That's ridiculous.
I said the same thing. I'm like, Doogie, I love that you're professional. I love that we can rely on you. It's amazing. If I were you, I would have at least one night where I crawl into my hotel room at 7 a.m.
Would you be
at
fine
least
with
one
it?
night.
I think the three of us.
We would have patted him on the back and said, we love that, Doogie. We'll take it from here. Take the day off.
If Friday morning he's just MIA and we've got a show and we're at 1 o'clock.
Can't do it. You got to be able to show up to work.
No.
No, but he crawls in at 9 a.m., but he shows up and his face is on sideways. And you're like, this guy's had a time. I think we're fine with it.
Yes.
He's young. Like, 100%. Go out and live your life.
100%. We'd say, Doogie, you're right. He'd have to be there for the show. You got to get up and get there. You got to get up and get to work.
Yeah, but if no guests came on, we can do a 2-hour show with no guests. Who cares?
Just stand over there like Bernie Lomax. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Put your glasses on in the convention center. We'll be fine.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
Ready? Confirm or deny? Let's fire this up.
I can neither confirm or deny that this is in fact a segment.
Boston trades Andrew Raycroft to Toronto in exchange for the rights to Tuukka Rask.
It's been my honor and a privilege to serve as the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey Club.
It's time for confirm or deny.
Do you regret giving all those gentlemen the no trades or no movement clauses?
I can neither confirm or deny that.
I can't confirm or deny.
All right, love it. Confirm and deny. Brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP where you get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you'll get it all in 20 minutes or less. A fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. Hit a Boston Pizza over the weekend. It was spectacular, like always. We love it. It's the best. All right, confirm and deny. The Maple Leafs, who are back on the ice today and resume play a week tomorrow, confirm and deny the Maple Leafs front office have already made up their trade deadline plans. They've already made up their minds on being buyers, sellers, standing pat. They've already determined what they're going to do.
I'm going to deny it. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's weird. It's like the Leafs are in all this trouble, but the Edmonton Oilers, who have a worse winning percentage, are like cup contenders. Like, it's just a weird vibe. Like, it's just a weird scenario, man. How could that be possible? That the Leafs are just like sell the farm and the Oilers are Stanley Cup contenders.
Because the Oilers have been to the finals the last 2 years and just
Jamie, I don't give a crap
along.
what they've done the last 2 years. They're terrible this year.
I'm just saying the Leafs have a 5% chance of making the playoffs.
That's the difference. The Oilers play in the Pacific.
Yeah,
that's the difference. The Oilers are going to make the playoffs.
They're making the playoffs whether they just glide in or not. The Leafs have 5% or 7%. I think they've made it. You can compare all you want, but they've got to go win 8 out of 10 and need help from other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've made up their mind, and it's not even selling off players. It's you've got decisions to make. What are you doing with Bobby McMahon? You got to sign him or you got to trade him. Like, you can't let him walk. Like, that's my point, though. Like, I don't think they're looking at Edmonton and going, well, we've got a better record than them.
I know. It was just a point of reference, and maybe my comment was just like a fading hope where I just can't believe they're writing off the season. But it's probably the only move to make. It's probably the only play.
I don't think they're writing it off. I think what they have to do is just realize where they are, and they've got to make hard decisions on players. They could still make a run. Florida's hoping to make a run. Ottawa's hoping to make a run. They're in the same boat of all of those guys because they're all got the same amount of points, same amount of games played or games left. There is somebody out of that group that could make a run, and the Leafs could be one of those. I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is the plan still has to be made. For Brad Treliving's standpoint, it's like, what am I doing with player X, player Y? Because I've got business decisions to make regardless of where we are in the standings. Scott Laughton's another one. Bobby McMahon. What am I doing with, player X, player Y? Are these guys available to me? So I think it's more, not where they are in the standings. I understand, but it's more about where are you going? Where is this team going, and where are you taking it? And those decisions, I think, probably were made over the break here. Well,
I want to confirm, because if they haven't, they have 6 games between now and the trade deadline.
Right.
If they think those 6 games are going to determine something, I mean, obviously they could say maybe we go 6-0 and we're 2 points out at the deadline. I just think you've seen 50. What have you seen? 57 games of this team?
Yeah, you can't extend it. It's usually 25 games.
You know what you have. Yeah, you know who you are. Like, they're not, even if they find a way to go on a heater, are they good enough to do what exactly?
Right.
I don't know. I know the East isn't loaded. Like, Tampa's very good. Carolina's always a good team. Does anyone else scare you? Maybe not. Maybe you can convince yourself that you could get in and do some damage. But I want to confirm. I guess I will confirm. I fear that the right answer is deny, because the ownership and Pally and everyone, and listen, Treliving is, I don't know, is he on thin ice, shaky ice? I don't know how to define his spot, but he can't be 100% comfortable with where he is. So
I agree.
What are they? They may be trying to sell it to themselves. We're still alive. I think that'd be the wrong play. It would scare me. But you've had 2 weeks here plus 57 games. If you don't know what you have now, what the hell are you doing? But what are you doing?
Coming back to my point is there's teams that believe that they should be in that mix. Toronto, I believe, and
they might think,
they're there.
It's more important. Do you think you're there next year, Noodles?
Right, that's fair. You make your decisions, but I look at it. They've got so many things like what ifs, and you brought it up. Like, what if this happens? If they go on a heater, is Tanev coming back? Is Dakota Joshua coming back? Is Morgan Riley healthy? All of that type of stuff. I don't know if a 3-3 record in their next 6 up to the deadline is going to change. Like, to me, you have to have a plan. And I guarantee you, Keith Pelley has probably said to management, like, where are we going here? Obviously, you're trying to make the playoffs, but you can still make the playoffs trading one player from your roster or 2 players. But you've got big decisions business-wise to make on some players, because you can't just let them walk for nothing.
Yes.
Or you either have to sign them and move forward, or you have to move away from them and get some assets back and kind of not retool, but move players forward. Austin Matthews, William Nylander not going anywhere.
Those guys aren't going anywhere. But I think if they don't take advantage of this to recoup some assets, it would be a ridiculous decision personally. But I'm not convinced they will. We may come back in day one. Bobby McMahon signed a 5-year deal at $4.25 million per. I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. But
it sucks that they're in this division, because you're right. You're looking at it like Ottawa's right there. Florida is 2 points behind you. Boston's 6 points up. Buffalo 7 points up. Detroit is 10.
Those teams are gone. Detroit's gone. Tampa's gone. Montreal likely. I think Montreal's probably gone. I think the top 3 are gone. You're talking about wild card spots.
Right, and you're going to fight for that. And I do believe they can. I'm like, regardless of the 5 or 8% or whatever, I do believe they can be right there. But they're going to need a lot of help, and they need to go on a run.
All right, let's move on here. Let's get to why don't we play the Tiger clip here quickly, because Something to Chew On is also brought to you by Boston Pizza, and we love that, Canada's favorite sports bar. Enjoy $15 lunch at BP. You get an entree, a side, and a drink, and you get it all in 20 minutes or less. A fast lunch doesn't have to be fast food. See you for a $15 fast lunch at your local Boston Pizza. Quickly, before we get to some other PGA Tour confirm or denies, Tiger Woods was at the Genesis today at Riviera and was asked about his comeback tour, the rehab, and whether the Masters, which is right around the corner, is off the table in terms of a return for him.
Final thing with you in regards to your recovery. Is the Masters off the table for you?
No.
Tiger. So we're doing it again with Tiger. And we've been asking, if you were to return to the Masters, where would it rank for you in terms of the excitement level? Through the roof, lukewarm, or do you just not care anymore? Like if he plays?
I don't care anymore, unfortunately.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care anymore because they're going to break. They're going to put him on the range and watch him hitting balls, and it's like he's barely going to make the cut or he's not going to compete. I mean, if the guy goes out and shoots 65 on day one, it gets your attention, but I don't see that happening. Guys, that we've been through this before.
I know.
You can't show up at a golf tournament because we know the program. He shows up and he says, "I'm here to win." Then he gives a little sniff like that, and then he misses the cut, and he's like, "Well, I never play." So, but it's like it can't be both. You can't say at the beginning of the tournament, "I only show up," and he's been saying this his whole life, to win, and then he misses the cut, and it's like, "Well, I'm rusty. I never play." Can't be both. So
no,
I can't go through the Tiger comeback again.
Plus, it's the ass grab. Like, something's going to cut. Like, he starts playing, and it doesn't go well, and something – he doesn't finish it. Like, to me, I just think he's such a – legend. He moves the needle.
Yes.
People want to see it regardless.
That's the truth. Is like there's only so many times. I know we've played this. We've been down this road many times. The reality is he's not winning. That's not happening. So it's
guys.
Always
let's
the latter.
not forget. Like this guy's 50 years old.
Yes.
Like in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be like young Jack and Arnie type guy, where he's just that famous guy wheeling around Augusta National.
That's what he is now. That's why I would be excited. Because for years I've watched Sandy Lyle go out there and hit
with his
balls
overalls and his stinky, ugly shoes on. Like,
exactly.
It's insane.
So why not watch Tiger hit a couple of stingers and make a couple of big putts and get the roars going? There's only so many left. So, I'm not going in thinking he's going to win. I know he'll do it. Of course he'll do it. He'll get a full day of live from, the Tuesday will be all him, or the Wednesday will be all him. And Brando will say, well, you never know, whatever. I don't know. I mean, and I love the Masters. I love the whole week. It's the coolest event of the year if you're a golf fan. But Tiger, go ahead. Do what Fred Couples has been doing for the last 20 years. He's not there
makes
to win.
the cut, man.
Just make the cut.
He makes
toot
the
around
cut.
and make the cut. That'd be awesome. I'm all for it. I'd still love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen, too. Let me point that out. Him saying it's not off the table does not mean he's going to be there playing. I'd be shocked if he's playing in it. Shocked.
Dude, I totally disagree with you. Him making that comment means he's playing the Masters.
When
the guy says
is
the Masters off the table and he says no, that means I'm playing Augusta National.
Really?
Yeah,
I think so.
It screams statement week of I did everything I could. I'm just not quite ready. See you soon.
Dude. He's been hiding in the weeds, man. It's just like it's a couple weeks away from I'm playing in the Masters.
Okay.
You think so?
All right.
Wow.
I love it. I hope you're right. I want to see him, and I would be excited to see him. All right, continuing with confirm or deny. There's a lot of chatter about, the PGA Tour and what could happen with their schedule moving forward. Confirm or deny the PGA Tour should start their season after the Super Bowl.
Well, the golf watching fan in me doesn't want that because there's a month and a half of golf that I like watching. Hawaii, which is basically punted, it's gone from our life.
They're not going back there.
I know. But they were talking about, I was reading something today where it's like Riv and Pebble might be like in the summer next year, where it's like you're taking that away from me in the wintertime as well.
I know.
But if they want to go ahead and do something different, they can start it after the Super Bowl, Hayes. And that's great for the viewership numbers. But what about the golf that was – are they just going to say golf's not being on TV? Like, how is that going to work with the networks and all the sponsors and stuff?
I don't know. Like, it does seem like there's a big shift coming, that they're going to play much fewer tournaments. It's going to be spread out. There's not going to be a ton of back-to-backs, and they're going to pick 24 huge events or whatever, and they're going to try to own the spring and summer. They have to own the summer. They know that. Then you're only competing with baseball. Football's gone, college football's gone, basketball's out of the way, hockey's out of the way. They got to own that. But I saw the same thing, that Pebble and Riv would move to the summer and be a part of the playoffs, which would suck in February, but would be amazing in August. Like playing Riviera in a big playoff event would be incredible.
But how would the players view it too? Like the players are like, you know what? We don't love playing that much golf, but we don't hate it that much either. Like I'm sure Scotty Scheffler loves to go to a tournament and pick it off at the Amex and throw $3 million in his pants. Like they don't hate it that much. Like they just want to show up somewhere and play golf for 4 days and try to win $3 million. So they've got to be saying, well, now are opportunities to win, although in the shorter season there's going to be big money tournaments, but the volume of them, like, there's a lot of questions that have to be answered.
Yeah. I don't see a scenario where you can go mid-February to the end of August and that's it. Like, golf just isn't big enough for that. Like, and the football, like, I'm going to deny this because I'm sorry, the NFL shouldn't even be in your orbit. Like, you don't compete with the NFL.
You don't compete against, like, NFL's got its own day.
It's a different
They're
beast.
a country. They're a country, literally.
Exactly. And if you want to switch it up during big NFL runs, like in January and August, finish your tournaments, go Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Don't even play on the Sunday, so you're not competing against.
And by the way, what's happening to the other golfers? Like, not everyone's Scotty Scheffler or Morikawa or Jordan Spieth. Like, where are the other guys going to play golf?
Well, you got to find a way to. You got to get hot quick, man. Like, talk to Chris Goddard about that. Now he's in the crowd. You got to win like a tournament or two quick, and then all of a sudden your name, and then you're included. You know what I mean? Because you're right. Like, if I don't know, Ben Griffin came out of nowhere. Now he's part of the crowd.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Keith Mitchell's a good player, but he's not really at that level. Where's he going to golf?
I don't know where he goes. I don't know where he goes to play golf. And there's Canadians
he's one of the world's best
front.
players. Yeah, there's Canadians on that front as well. Like
we love Mackenzie Hughes. You know, he's not at that level. You know,
where's he golfing?
I don't know. Adam Hadwin's already on the Corn Ferry tour. So I hear you, and I am curious. Like, where does the Canadian Open come into play in all this? I don't know. I don't know which tournaments are chosen.
Dude, they're talking about completely punting on that fall season. I love watching that in the fall.
Yeah.
Those last 4 or 5 events.
Me too, because you're still playing golf.
Yeah, and it's I like to watch these guys kind of hang on and try to get in or get their card.
Totally.
And this guy that took over was like that. Yeah, it's gone. All of them.
I know. It's not. It's going to be very different. All right, let's play this Aaron Judge audio before we get to our final confirm or deny. So Judge down in Tampa. Yankees have all arrived. He stepped up to the podium and was asked about the Yankees offseason. Here's what he had to say.
Early on, it was pretty tough to watch. I'm like, man, we're the New York Yankees. You know, let's go out there and get the right people, get the right pieces to go out there and finish this thing out, because we got a special group of players here. We got a good core, a good young core. So, it was frustrating, but I think we're right where we need to be.
Yeah, he throws in that last point. He doesn't believe it for a second. What I find fascinating about this is, like, Judge, like, this is the New York Yankees, and their brand is being challenged because the Mets are spending more, the Dodgers are lapping them, and the Blue Jays have passed them. The Blue Jays spend more or as much. They're active. They make changes. They beat the doors off them in the ALDS, beat them for the division, beat them for top spot in the American League. And Judge is sitting there as an all-time great player and one of the great Yankees ever, and he hasn't won
Cody
anything.
Bellinger.
Exactly. They brought Bellinger back. They're like, why don't we go get somebody? Tucker's out there. Bregman's out there. There's other guys out there. There's Arms out there. You know, like, they still have a very good team. The Yankees are always going to be in the mix. And they do spend money, but that's a fascinating comment to say that. Like, early on in the offseason, it's like, what are we doing? We're the Yankees.
Well, don't kid yourself. I love to see the pendulum swing, because there was years where it's like, now that guy's going to end up in the Yankees and the Jays have no shot. And that's not the case anymore, because they were literally the only one. A-Rod's available. We're going to give him $250 million. We're going to give Jeter $250 million. We're going to get Jason Giambi. We're going to get this guy, that guy. And they signed everybody, man. So it's nice to see them chewing on it a little bit.
But he's probably saying, though, why this is your top player. This is the face of your franchise. Like, they're probably going to have a conversation with him, or he's probably or his agent is saying, like, what did you guys do here? What are we doing?
I want to get cooking, man. And that's why I'll throw it out there, confirm it tonight. Aaron Judge will finish his career as a Yankee.
100%, man. That guy's not going anywhere. He's like an iconic baseball figure. 99, 6'6", hits bombs. Like, he ain't going anywhere. Unless he demands out, Hayes.
Well, that's what I'm
You
getting
think those
to.
comments are a prelude to him saying, "Get me out of here"?
I think it's I'm not saying it's this year or even next. I think that's a message, though, being like, listen, we talk about it with McDavid all the time. You don't think he's sitting there saying, I got to get a ring here. Like, I can't throw my name into the hat with Ruth and DiMaggio and Mantle and Jeter. If I don't win, I got to win something here. And he's been to a World Series. Now, he didn't perform that well in the past. He hit very well in the DS. Like he put up numbers against the Blue Jays. But they got pumped. And he didn't have any help. Their staff wasn't good enough. The Jays just destroyed them, man. And the Jays destroyed them in the offseason again, even though they lost Bichette. They made more moves that I think are going to have an impact on this season than what the Yankees did. So I do think this is at least opening the door. I would confirm it as of today he retires a Yankee. But if he's 2 or 3 years away from here and they're not good enough or they're not winning, when does he say, I got to get out of here and Ray Bork this thing?
Yeah.
Like, when does he say, I got to get one? I don't know. It doesn't really baseball doesn't really live in that world. And it's amazing we're having this chat with the Yankees because usually if you're a great player and you're there for 15 years, you win. That's just the way it goes.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got a bit of an Austin Matthews vibe with the Yankees. Yeah. He's not exactly like dialed in to come play up. What's shocking about the Yankees is how they got pumped, and then everyone's offseason was being kind of pumped up, and then the Yankees just sat back. Mm-hmm. Like, they got pumped by the Blue Jays, with the exception for, one game?
Yeah. Yes. They exactly. They won game 3. And they got destroyed by the Jays.
Yes.
Like, destroyed.
They hit them all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Destroyed.
Ugly scores.
And they got destroyed during the regular season. Like, the Jays' win percentage against the Yankees was... 4-game series.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of sweeps against them. Like, their record against the Yankees was like 750, 800 on the season. It was crazy. So, and they keep bringing Boone back. They have the same GM they've had for like 25 years. I don't know. The door might have been open a little bit with those type of comments from Aaron Judge. There you go.
Yeah.
Confirm and deny, brought to you by our friends at Boston Pizza. All right, Best Bets coming up. OverDrive continues, TSN 1050 and on the TSN app.
Disney Plus, and Crave. Together starting at $15.75 a month.
Never just about the bunker. Friends, they tell Tracy.
You're not going to tell anyone about this, are you?
And so it begins.
The Disney Plus Crave Bundle. Plan starting at $15.75 a month.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Nothing going on in pro sports, but a big night, Tuesday night, big night for college basketball.
Oh, here we go.
Michigan, Purdue, the number one team in the country. Michigan playing the Boilermakers tonight. I'm on the Wolverines laying 2.5. I love Michigan on the road tonight. Love Michigan laying the points. Number one team in the country. It's a layup. You got to have it. You've got to play this game tonight. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same game parlays around the sports world are available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 18 plus. Physically located in Ontario.
How sad were you when you just dug around on that schedule and where it's like, what am I going to pick?
I was going to play a game. What were these two teams?
Can't you do Olympic games or not?
No, not with this particular setup.
Okay, fair enough.
But there was one. What was it like? Southern Charleston against like the Web or I don't know, man. Yeah. I was leaning into that. It was a big spread. I just couldn't get a lean on it one way or the other.
Dude, there's. I mean, Hayes, you've heard of these dudes. They'll bet on like European basketball.
Oh, all
leagues.
day. Handball, man. Handball's a big thing around the world.
And with no knowledge though. How are you doing that?
You're letting it ride.
You got to research. You just got to research.
You're letting it ride. I guess. Yeah, you got to try to find out whatever you can find out. But, spreads and books, there's bookmakers that know what they're doing. So generally the lines are pretty clean,
This Al's brother's disappeared, too. Right? He's probably back on a cruise after the
Unfortunate.
defeat.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, man. Al's brother, he's gone dark on us. I haven't heard a word from him since the Super Bowl. It was heartbreaking for him.
You know what he's dealing with? Wedding details.
Yes, I think the wedding preparation is officially on.
Are we in? Have we determined?
I don't know. I would say Mini Jerry's. It's like a 25%.
No.
Yes.
Like we're invited?
50?
Yes. Low.
No, we're invited. I'm talking us.
I don't know if we're invited,
dude.
I think you're being very presumptuous with that. I don't know.
He said his dad and his father-in-law are big fans of the show.
Okay.
If those guys are footing the bill,
anything, man.
Well, they're footing the bill. A lot of times, isn't it? Did the parents pay? Or
they can chip in for sure.
Works.
Definitely a chip in.
We're on the list.
Okay. Well, if we're on the list, man, I think we got to get down there. I think we got to find a way to be in Niagara.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out today. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, up on YouTube, live on TSN's YouTube channel, iHeartRadio app. You can find us everywhere. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Ernie McCracken. Let's get fired up. 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.
begins with your big moment from the Winter Olympics. Canada wins gold in women's team pursuit. The trio of Ivany Blondin, Valerie Malte, and Isabelle Weideman go back-to-back defending their title from Beijing 2022 to capture Canada's third gold at the Winter Olympics. The full story is coming up straight away. And, of course, back-to-back gold medals. No easy feat. As we welcome you here into Sports Center, it's Sarah Davis with you. So Canada's men's hockey team, they continue their pursuit of another gold medal tomorrow. And we now know their opponent for the quarterfinals will be Czechia, who they opened the tournament against, shutting out the Czechs 5-0 last week. Today, Canada practiced after a day off yesterday, and both Nathan McKinnon and Sam Bennett were absent.
John, any reason for concern that McKinnon wouldn't be available for the next game, or is he good to go?
Zero concern. Yeah, he's all, there's long-term, a lot of stuff going on, and maintenance day for guys, but I expect to have everybody fully healthy. I think everybody's going to be an option, so when I go back in here, I'll check. But, that was part of the reason that Marchie hasn't played for a bit here, is to make sure he was an option for us.
I feel great. Excited to get back in. It's obviously we wanted to work hard to get ourselves in this position, and it's one to be part of. So, excited to be back with the group here.
We're going to stick up for our teammates. I didn't know that necessarily it was going to be a fight, but it turned into that pretty quickly, and then obviously more of just kind of a wrestling match and a melee and kind of chaos. So once I got out of the pile and he kind of ended up on the bottom, I just wanted to make sure not to take it too far, and obviously thinking about the more important hockey coming up, and I think they got the message that we were going to stick together as a country.
So Czechia had to play in a qualification game against Denmark to punch their ticket to the semifinals. Here we go, scoreless in the second. Czechia power play. Martin Necas with a laser past Freddie Anderson as Necas scores against his former Hurricanes teammate, and it's 1-0. Let's go later in the frame. Now 2-1 Czechia. David Pasternak ahead to Roman Cervenka, and he flies in and beats Anderson as the 40-year-old veteran makes it a 3-1 game. But Denmark responds on the power play, and check out the hands of Nick Olsen. His fourth goal ties him for the tournament